Hey guys, what's up? Green Machine Sam back with another video today. We have another episode of Carolina Panthers franchise. Now you may be wondering, why are you in this screen? Why are you not starting off with gameplay? Well, this is a recap of what has happened and a stat look and a roster look slash sliders look. So first we're going to check out the team. This is where it is standing. This is the depth chart as well. Team's developing really nicely. Morris and Middleton have developed very nicely side by side with with them coming out of the same college and being on the same NFL team. Irv Smith is going to be our starting tight end just for the simple fact that I don't know if O.J. Howard's going to be back next year, and I think Irv Smith will give us the best chance at winning currently. Jonathan Matthews, a rookie out of UCLA, and Lucas Costanzo are our 3 and 4 wide receivers just for the simple fact that John Ross, I don't know, I just don't want him, and Chase Claypool just can't fucking catch a deep ball, so I don't want him. Cole McDonald has developed really nicely, but the simple fact is Ryan Samuel is the future. He is the leader of this team, and he's going to have to be to win any playoff games. Jonathan Taylor is back from injury, and he'll be the running back number 2. Deontay Harris at number 3. Jalen Samuels a fullback, tight end, wide receiver, running back combo. We are only carrying 4 backup O-linemen: Wilkinson, Feeney, Jalapio, and Daly. Daly was hurt for a little bit. We ended up having to get rid of Bobby Hart for reasons of bringing in some of the wide receivers that we brought in. Jamal Adams is developing nicely, but we don't know if he's going to be back next year because he has no interest in re-signing because I've apparently lowballed him too many times. Jerome Baker, same deal. So Quarterman maybe starting next year, or Cashman, or one of these other guys. Okereke is up to star. Jerome Baker is up to superstar. Hassan Reddick has played nice, stepping into his role. Zach Bond has played decently well as well. Afirin Jennings has played pretty well too. Isaiah Simmons has played excellent. So Terrell Burgess or Blashawn Austin might be starting next year, or even Kyle Duggar, who knows. Dante Jackson, J.C. Jackson, Travarius Ward, C.G.J., and Sidney Jones have all played fucking elite. The one thing that I do not like about this group right now is that we give up too many slants. This is a man-to-man team, and for some reason we give up too many slants when we're playing man. I understand a slant is a quick route to get open against man, but we give up too many slants. Play on the inside, force outside leverage, and if he wants to go over top you and run that slant, let him. We got help on the back end in Jamal Adams and Isaiah Simmons. Let them run those deeper slants. Ross Blacklock has been a fucking monster. He has been an upgrade over B.J. Hall, which is weird to even say. I was bringing Blacklock in as a last-ditched attempt to bring in a young guy that could hopefully develop. Now he has played absolutely phenomenal under us and has been that pass rusher that we need. Derek Brown, not really a great pass rusher for us for some reason. Charles Menahue, haven't seen a whole ton of time, but when he does perform, as well as Chase Winovich and Rashawn Gary. Brian Burns and Yatir Gross-Matos are our future. And who knows, I'm kind of thinking about moving to a 3-4. I don't really know yet, especially if we lose Jerome Baker, we might, but who knows. Special teams, Justin Tucker performing as always. J.K. Scott performing as always. Special teams has basically been the same since the start of the season, as well as specialists. The only change is Lucas Costanzo is at number 2 for slot receiver, and Deontay Harris is at number 3. Yeah, outside of that, nothing really has changed. Before we get into stats, though, I'm going to say one quick thing. If you guys do remember from one of the episodes, the Saints game did not save, so Jerome Baker is missing a pick, and Sidney Jones is missing 2 picks. So keep that in mind. Cole McDonald, 2,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, 15 picks, 55 completion percentage. Not great. He has to play better. Simple as that. Ryan Samuel in his little debut and stuff, 1,700 yards. So combined, they got just above that 4,000 yard mark, and they had 30 touchdowns, but then they had 32 picks combined. I played super bad with Samuel, and it just shows. Christian McCaffrey with 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, over 100 yards a game, no fumbles, 24 broken tackles. He went insane. He could have definitely played better, but he played very, very good. 5.0 yard average. Jalen Samuels had 62 attempts for 3.7 yards, no touchdowns, 230 yards. Cole McDonald with 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor with his limited role, 30 attempts after getting injured for 157 yards, 5.2 yard average, 4 touchdowns. Deontay Harris, 3.1 yard average on 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Taysom Hill, 2.8 yard average, 44 yards, 1 touchdown. Paris Campbell has had 5 attempts for 44 yards and a touchdown, and Ryan Samuel even had 39 yards on the ground. Catching, this is where it kind of gets a little tricky because, remember, we did get rid of Preston Williams at the midseason mark. Claypool got benched, so there's going to be a lot of low numbers in here, but that's what happens when people get injured and when you do trade people away. DJ Moore with over 1,000 yards on 50 catches, 1,100 yards exactly, 13 touchdowns, 22-yard average. Paris Campbell with 58 grabs for 826 yards, 5 touchdowns. O.J. Howard with 35 grabs for almost 500 yards, 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey with another 70 touches for him, 474 yards. Irv Smith, 26 grabs for 379 yards, a touchdown. Claypool with 18 grabs, 237 yards. Samuels, 24 grabs, 222 yards. Lucas Costanzo with 10 grabs, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. Harrison Bryant with 5 grabs for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. Deontay Harris with 3 grabs for 47 yards, no touchdowns. Dalton Schultz with 4 grabs for 34 yards. Jordan Matthews with 2 grabs for 29 yards. John Ross with a grab. Taysom Hill with 4. And Jonathan Taylor with 2 and a touchdown. Blocking, that's about as good as it can look, really. Greg Little, if I can find a tackle, I think Greg Little is done. He's had injury concerns. He got injured in like 3 different games, and he was out for like the rest of the games, or he was high risk and somehow didn't get injured again. Taylor Moton, I know there was a couple times that I did run into sacks, as well as the fact that you're going to see more X factors for some reason going up against the right tackle. So that's something, because you have Khalil Mack, you have DeMarcus Lawrence, you have multiple people, and for some reason he just got beat a couple times. Travis Middleton and Roman Morris, those are perfectly fine numbers for the fact that they each played over 900 snaps, as well as the fact that they're both rookies. So, and one of them, I think, is playing a position that they didn't play. I think Roman Morris is playing a center position when he was playing guard in college. Quentin Nelson with 1 sack, yeah, you're going to expect that. Bobby Okereke and Jerome Baker and Isaiah Simmons all had the same amount of tackles, 116 across the board in total tackles anyway, not in assists and solo tackles. But then tackles for loss, we had 18 from Jerome Baker, 11 from Blacklock, 10 for Okereke, 9 for Simmons, 9 for Burns, 8 for Reddick, 5 for Jones, 5 for Brown. So, sacks, this is where we made our money. 18 sacks for Brian Burns, 13.5 for Blacklock. I know he had like 5 before he came here, so he still had like 8.5, which would have still been third on the team, especially coming from that defensive tackle number 2 spot. That is insane. That is great for us. Yatir Gross-Matos with 9, Jerome Baker with 4, Bobby Okereke with 4, Hassan Reddick with 2.5, Simmons with 2, Derek Brown with 2, Zach Bond with 2, Jamal Adams with 2, Sidney Jones with 1, Winovich with 1, Dante Jackson with 1, and picks. 6 for Sidney Jones, technically 8, since he did have those 2 taken away from the Saints game. 6 for CGJ, so even though he did play bad, he still came up clutch. He came up clutch in the Falcons game. You guys want to have seen that because for some reason the video clip did not fucking save. Bobby Okereke had 5. Dante Jackson had 5. Dante Jackson, he got all his picks in 2 games. He had 3 in one game, 2 in the other. Like, come on now. You gotta fucking, like, do more. But then again, if he's not getting targeted, there's nothing he can do. And that's one thing that I hate with corners is if anybody brings up interception totals, I'm like, you understand interceptions is based off of how many times the ball has been thrown at you, right? Because no offense, I can't get a pick if the ball's only been thrown at me 10 times. But if somebody's been thrown at 30 times, 40 times, 50 times, you should be able to come up with a pick after that. Isaiah Simmons with 3, Jamal Adams with 3. We're not counting Burgess because those were his beforehand. Reddick's we're not counting because I threw that one to him. And Blashawn Austin with 1. Forced fumbles, we did end up forcing 2, 4, 6, 7 fumbles. We ended up recovering 3 5, 6 of them, so we only missed out on 1 fumble, which is fine. That's insane numbers. Most teams don't recover that many or even force that many. Safeties, 1 for Jackson, 1 for Baker, both on sacks. Dante Jackson with 2 touchdowns. He had 2 in the same game to open up a game and to close out a game. CGJ with 2, 1 against the Bears, and I don't know who else. Bobby Okereke with 2, 1 against the Jets, and I don't know the other one. Ross Blacklock, the one where he dove on the fumble, landed on the quarterback. I don't remember which quarterback it was, and rolled off and got up and ran and scored. Justin Tucker, I hit 95%. I only missed 2 field goals, well, 2 extra points. Those were definitely my fault, and I missed 2 field goals. So he played very, very well, and he did his job. Yes, it was a little cheaty, me getting him, but whatever. I didn't like force the Ravens to cut him. I just traded pieces to him. J.K. Scott, the yards aren't going to be up there because I didn't punt it very far, to be honest. So the numbers just aren't going to be there. Deontay Harris and John Ross, nothing special here on the return squad, and nothing special here on the return squad. Kyle Duggar was apparently returning for the fucking Pats. Really? Okay. So not bad overall. Let's go ahead and check out awards real quick, and then we'll get to the sliders, and then we'll get out of here. MVP, McCaffrey at 9. I forgot to look at Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year, we did end up winning that. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, McCaffrey at 3. No other. Panthers Defensive Player of the Year, Okereke at 4. No, Brian Burns at 10. I think if Sidney Jones would have started on the outside and had those 2 picks still, I think he would have won because he would have had a higher tackle total. He would have had more opportunities at picks, and he would have had those 2 extra picks, which means he would have had 8 picks, maybe more, maybe even 10. Not quite as good as Dante Jackson's year last year with 9, but he still played incredible, especially getting 5 in a 2-game span as well with Dante Jackson this year. Offensive Player of the Year, Ryan Samuel at 3. He would have gotten it if I would have started him, and Lucas Costanzo at 9. That just really proves, like, if I would have started those 2 at the beginning of the season, I would have easily gotten the award, but I didn't, so we're not going to get it. I don't think we had any rookies on defense, and if we did, they were just down the depth chart, so they weren't going to get any playing time anyways. So we had the 4th best offense in terms of yards. We had the 1st best defense in terms of yards. We had 500 points scored. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, actually. So total yards, yeah, we're at, what is that, 6th. Total offensive yards, we're at 4. Pass yards, I don't think we'll be up here. Oh, yeah, we're in the bottom half of the league. Yeah, we're definitely in the bottom half of the league, or just right around the middle. Rush yards, we were 3. Jesus, the Bears did not run the football well at all. Points per game, we're up there, 31.3, just barely beating out the Ravens. Passing touchdowns, yeah, we're not going to be here. We only had 30, so right there. Rush touchdowns, we were top 10. First downs, apparently we did really bad at this, or it passed us. Yeah, we did really bad at that. Okay, let's look at defense. Total yards, yep, we win that. Pass yards, yep, top 10. Rush yards, I know we should be up here. Yeah, we slowed everybody down in the rush attack. I think our worst game was against Todd Gurley, and he had like 130 yards, so. Points allowed. Number 2, sacks, top with 58. 49ers with 56, right behind us. Forced fumbles, well, fumble recoveries, 7. Same with the Bears. And then interceptions, we had 29, technically, we had 29. To be honest, we only had 25, because if you take away Burgess is 3 and Hassan Reddick's 1, and we only had 25. So the Bucs technically did have more than us, so keep that in mind as well, because, you know, we're going to get those stats because they're here. Conversions, I kind of want to look at this. Yeah, we did not convert well, did we? No, we did not. 37%. We were the 3rd worst team on 3rd down. Wow. So either we didn't get to third down a lot, or we just were absolute dog shit. Fourth down though, we were at least above average, so that's good. 2-point conversions. Most of these teams only went for it a couple times. Yeah, 80%, not bad. Right, that's at 80%, right? Yeah. 4 for 5, not bad. I'll take it. Red zone efficiency. Had the most. No, yeah, we were top 10 in touchdowns, top 10 in field goals. Penalties, we had 41. So I wish penalties would be simulated a lot better. I just don't want to sit here and be fucking blasted up the goddamn ass with holding calls for fucking like 6 straight plays and a false start and a block in the back and this and that. I just don't want it, and so these numbers are gonna be skewed. Turnovers, we've already looked at that. I think we had a very bad turnover rate though, because of the fact that I threw so many picks. Yeah, we had a -1. We had a -1. Jesus. So not bad. We had an overall great season. I think if turnovers weren't there, I think we could have easily went 16-0. And I'm trying not to be like too good, and it sucks because when you have a group like my wide receivers, which are mostly sure-handed guys, it's hard to sit there and be like, well, he doesn't deserve to catch that. So here is the sliders. We have 50 QB accuracy, 59 pass block, 61 wide receiver and catching, 70 run block, 79 fumble. That can actually come down a little bit. 75 pass defensive time, 57 on interceptions, 79 on pass coverage, 50 on tackle, 4 QB accuracy, 18 pass block. I'm going to actually bump it back up to 19 real quick. It seems like we were generating almost too much pressure. Wide receiver catching at a 56. I'm going to bump it up to 57. Run block at a 34. Going to bump it up to 36. Fumbles at a 30. I'll keep it there. Pass defensive recognition time at 36. Interceptions at 24. I'll bump that up to 25 real quick. Tackling at a 48. Field goal kick power at a 49. I'm going to actually decrease this a lot. 38 field goal accuracy. That will basically mean if I don't hit the spot, I'm going to probably fuck it up. Pump power, I'm actually going to bump up to 54. It seems like none of the balls are going where they're supposed to. But with that, I'm also going to bump down accuracy. Going to bump down kickoff power, upgrade injuries by 1. Fatigue up by 5, I think would be good. Offsides at 52. I'm going to actually bump all of them up 1, I think. So, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about these sliders, anything you would recommend personally, I will be glad to hear. Remember, I am playing on all Madden, so don't recommend me all pro settings because I just don't want to have to deal with that, or, especially with the playoffs coming, I'd rather stick with sliders that I know and I can try to fuck around with, and hopefully we'll make it to the Super Bowl, make it to the NFC Conference Championship, get a playoff win, and be back in the playoffs. We'll be back in the Super Bowl. But that means that, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Turn on post notifications if you guys want to be notified daily whenever I upload, or whenever I do upload. I don't think I'll be uploading daily, but every now and then I do miss a day or so. Remember, subscribing is for free. You guys can always unsubscribe later if you come to not enjoy my content anymore. If you guys are here for roster updates or any of my other series, I post those probably every week or so. I do a roster update. It's probably about the same time EA does theirs, because I normally let them upgrade their overalls, and then I'll move players around if they haven't moved them around by game time on Sunday. So keep that in mind. But with that being said, I'm out, guys. Peace.